New day, new info. And man, they're hitting hard with this one too. Kill them all. That's all it took from the front man to get everyone guessing once again. I don't know about you guys, but I really like what Netflix is doing with Squid Game, dropping bits of information to keep us guessing while still keeping us in the dark. I strongly believe their goal is to confuse us even further, so we can't predict what's coming next in the series. Kill them all. Almost everyone who saw this moment immediately thought of the captain, assuming In-ho is ordering him to kill the man on the boat. And honestly, I'm almost certain that's the case. I'd say there's about an 80% chance, and here's why. Based on this photo, we can be sure of two things. First, this scene is happening right after the rebellion. We can tell by the hairstyle. In-ho has the same hairstyle as Oh Jung-il, but we later see him with his usual slicked back hair. That tells us he hasn't had time to return to his original look yet. And we know that during the rebellion, Captain Park sabotaged the drone and was caught by one of the other members, who then got pushed overboard. I believe the captain contacted the front man to report that he'd been discovered and asked how to proceed. The second thing we can confirm is the phrasing, "kill them all." In both the teaser and the trailer, we only see Jun-ho. So if the front man were talking about his brother specifically, he would have said, "kill him, not them all." Even if Jun-ho had teamed up with No-eul, I still think In-ho would have said, "kill them, not all." The use of all suggests he's referring to a larger group. And that's why I'm so sure he's talking to Captain Park here. But I don't think Captain Park has much longer to live after killing that team member and almost getting caught. Once Jun-ho realizes someone from the team is missing, he won't buy the captain's excuse for a second. He searched for the island for 3 years. I think he'll connect the dots and realize Park is a mole. Jun-ho was a rising star in the police force, one of their best detectives, and those skills will come in handy when he unmasks the captain. So yeah, I think the front man was talking to the captain, and Park almost finished his mission. As we've seen from all the promotional material for Season 3, Jun-ho appears to be infiltrating the base alone. No Mr. Kim, no team. I believe Jun-ho's team gets ambushed, and he's the only one who survives. In the teaser, we see him arriving on the island using the same diving equipment used by the organ smugglers, and I think that's connected to the attack. But hey, that's just my theory. Only 20 days left, and we'll know for sure. Next, I think this new info actually confirms a few things, so I'll go over all the remaining frames, saving the most interesting one for last. And no, I'm not talking about Gi-hun this time. We get the same voting scene from the teaser, and another shot of the shaman lady mocking Gi-hun while he's handcuffed. About that scene, thank you to everyone who pointed this out in my previous video. I was mistaken when I said that the photo of Gi-hun handcuffed is the same scene where Seon-yeon mocks him and almost gets strangled. But you were right. After rewatching it, in the teaser photo, Gi-hun is cuffed by his left hand, while in the trailer, he's cuffed by his right. So what could that mean? First, we still don't know who the shadowy figure in the teaser belongs to, so the theory that it might be Gi-ho or Nam-gyu is still on the table. Second, why is Gi-hun handcuffed again? I don't think it's because he tried to attack a guard. So here's what I think is going on. In the trailer, we see Gi-hun cuffed by his right hand, and we also see him lashing out at a guard, blaming him for letting him live, and almost begging to be killed. But the guard doesn't kill him. Instead, he cuffs him. So I think that trailer moment explains the right hand cuffing. It's a reaction to his outburst. But then we have 2 more shots where Gi-hun is cuffed by his left hand. I don't know if this was done on purpose or if I'm overanalyzing things, but one of those scenes takes place during the voting process. That makes me think Gi-hun might not be allowed to vote anymore and is kept handcuffed throughout the voting rounds as punishment for the rebellion. Here's what I think that symbolizes. Gi-hun should have died during the rebellion. He knows it, In-ho knows it, and all the players know it. Imagine the hatred and suspicion he would face after returning alive, especially since everyone else who joined the rebellion was killed. many players would probably believe he received special treatment. They wouldn't trust him, and they definitely wouldn't follow him. After all, he was the one who rallied everyone to rebel, and now he's the only one left standing. The only reason Gi-hun is still alive is because In-ho decided to spare him. I believe that symbolizes something deeper, that Gi-hun no longer has control over his own life. He's not allowed to vote anymore because he's lost the ability to make choices. Someone else is deciding for him now, and that someone is In-ho. In the fourth game, we see Gi-hun as the last person to pick, and the only ball left is a red one. Again, he's stripped of choice. The outcome is predetermined. All the other players got to spin the gumball machine with a 50-50 chance, but not Gi-hun. He was forced into whatever was left. That's why I think he might remain handcuffed throughout the entire voting process, to visually represent that he no longer controls his fate. The only detail that doesn't fully support this theory is the X marker on his tuxedo, which suggests he may have voted to stop the final game. But even then, it seems the vote wasn't in his favor. If Gi-hun is allowed to vote, then for the final game, we could have either 3 or 5 players, since 2 of them would need to vote O. But if Gi-hun isn't allowed to vote, then it's most likely that we'll have 4 participants in the final game. And in that case, the final vote would end up 2-1. We also get another shot of Geum-ja, and I believe it clearly shows her crying, which strongly suggests that Young-sik doesn't survive the game. The scene with the players displayed on the screen happens just before the 5th game. We can see players 442 and 353 in front, which confirms they're still alive at this point. I believe this one here is Myung-gi, and the interesting part is, I think this other player might be Min-su. The head shape and stature match, and we see the blue badge on his jacket, which we know Min-su voted for in the previous round. Isn't this scene interesting? Throughout Season 2, Min-su was terrified of Nam-gyu, who constantly bullied him. And now he's walking behind Nam-gyu, almost in a position of power, while Nam-gyu can barely walk. The irony of it all, how fast things can change in life. One moment, Nam-gyu was the predator, and the next, he's the prey. The scene where the frontman is watching the players happens during the 4th game. We can tell by the maze pattern displayed on the computer wall, and then we get a glimpse of the meeting between Gi-hun and the frontman. Man, I cannot wait for this scene. We already know that Hwang said the actor delivered an immaculate performance here, one of the best in the entire series, so I'm sure this will go down as one of the most memorable moments in TV history. As for the reason behind the meeting, I still think my theory holds. The frontman invites Gi-hun to place a bet against humanity. And if Gi-hun wins, In-ho will answer all of his questions. We can clearly see that Gi-hun's resolve hasn't changed, not even after the failed rebellion and the loss of his best friend. Finally, we get a scene with a triangle guard fighting a black square, which, without a doubt, is No-eul. If you watched my last video, you'll remember I speculated that Jun-ho might infiltrate the base, disguised as a guard, to move around freely. But I'm still convinced this is No-eul because of the dynamic between these two characters. We already saw a clash of ideologies between them in Season 2, when the black square told No-eul she had changed, that she was no longer the woman who'd do anything to find her child. Guard 11 responded that she hadn't changed, it was the black square who had. She insisted that she was just doing her job, ending the miserable lives of these people. We even get a photo of No-eul handcuffed by the black square, so Netflix has clearly been building up to this confrontation. The only question is, when was that photo taken? Was it before the fight or after? Let me know what you think in the comments.